Nice to see someone who's interested in doing... business for a change. What do you need? Nice talking.
Hey there. Get over here. We don't abide by strangers, Anissa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down. Bye now. Here comes a fresh face. Take a look at what I've got here. Bye now.
I've got what you need. It's nice to know you're sticking around for a while. Issa... Residents tend to make themselves at home. Anything catch your eye? Come back again.
waste of time.
I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Not just anyone can enter the secret city of the Fae. Oh no. You need an ambassador's endorsement and written authorization, and that's just to be in the lottery. Those in the United Merchants are the lucky ones. Of course, once you see how much gold they actually make in Issa, you will no longer envy them. It's safe, that's for sure, at least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, ungrateful creatures. I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. What do I know of Fae politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here, thanks to the war. Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwenna Hand mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade, Fae blade, of course, that makes them authentic, something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway, Fae souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous, fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the Honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Don't keep me waiting too long.
can I help you? You're always welcome at the Crafters Guild. Our doors are always open.
Why? Aren't those Brother Fallon's prayer beads? You should bring those up to St. Hadwin's mission. It's only right. So long.
Boggarts are gone. Thank the Tharu.
There are bandits out there.
Well, Lumpkin.
War-sworn work? Good. The gold's run low and my mother's not doing so well. To the Warden's Bridge it is. The plague shield has helped. And yet when I asked the healer how long, she won't meet my eye. This humble work is an honor. It's seen its share of hardship, so I can serve in the militia and do what I can. All able bodies must serve in turn. Since Warsworn know how to fight, we're usually the first called. Aye, the one smack in the heart of Lorcoraine. Go north of here, then east, then south along the road. Farewell, Mother. I won't be long.
Thanks to you, I've enough plague shield to treat the village. For now, at any rate. When this plague shield runs out, I don't know what we'll do then. Well, on your way with you.
Ah, the castle. This tells me that your tavern will be a part of Loch Dyden for decades to come?
Last month you told me that the plague would take us all.
I know, but That's not what fate says anymore.
Damn it, Agarth. You're cut off.
Yeah, and I bet I know whose fault that is.
How could a person's fate just change like that? This doesn't make any sense.
It's your fault that I can't pay my tab, you know? I wasn't ever supposed to come back here in the first place. I've spent the last 20 years knowing what fate had in store for me. And then you... Damn it. I thought I had my life figured out. Not for a Fate Weaver, it isn't. But that's just the problem. When I was young, I thought I could overcome anything. Now, I know otherwise. I fought beasts the size of trees, was celebrated by mortals and Fae alike. When I was initiated into the Fate Weavers, I thought it was a reward for my good deeds. The first time I saw my own fate, I realized it was nothing but a curse. My own death, of course. But not a hero's death as I had always dreamed. I was going to die alone and unknown, killed by an Etin and used for stew. It was a terrible end, but I knew it was part of fate's greater plan. Then you came and changed that future. You stole my part in the tapestry. I was at peace with knowing the worst. But what do I do now that there's nothing to know? You're right. My glory days don't have to be over, and as long as I'm around you, I don't know how my story will end. That means I've got to make sure you stay around in one piece. Maybe this old trinket from my youth will help. After all, I don't just owe you my life. I owe you my future. Why, I once tracked the Yeth of Avgrun on a moonless night by smell alone. Fey or not, I could have tracked those Tuatha sober. They've set up in a cavern north of town, complete with some way of scrying your location. That's how they found you so easily. I have a plan, but it'll take the both of us to work. These soldiers were sent out with one purpose: finding you and making sure you stay dead. Everything else, the Well, Arden, Hughes, have all been collateral damage. They're using something big to track you. They call it the Eyes of Tirnoch. Smash it, and they won't be following you anymore. The main entrance is heavily guarded and will require a strong attack. The other route is trapped. It'll need a subtler approach. I don't have an answer for that. I can't imagine what about you made Gadflow send his troops across the continent. Straightforward and direct. A warrior after my own heart. I'll cover the back and make sure they can't escape to report back to whoever sent them here. Let's track down some trouble.
Come to town for the craft hall?
This is the front entrance. You'll face their strongest guards, so it's no place for subtlety. Find their scrying mirror and smash it. I'll slip in the back and make sure none of them escape. Beautiful city, isn't it? You can see why they don't like letting most mortals in. Even the best of us make it look like a mess by comparison. You know the Summer Court in Issa? Well, the Winter Court are their darker siblings. They're not evil, but they're definitely not nice. He once offered me an honorary knighthood after I slayed the Dream Eater of Amora. He was quite gracious when I turned him down. The Crystal War, they've been calling it. 10 years ago, the Winter Fae turned violent and attacked us in force, calling themselves the Tuatha Daon. They say it's their sacred duty to cleanse the mortals from their lands. Naturally, the humans and Alpha who live here aren't so happy with that plan. It's been going back and forth for years. Where there's war, there's soldiers nervous about their fate, and that's where I come in. Gadflow is just some trumped-up fae who started hearing voices, I gather. But a crazy with an army is still a threat, sure enough. We'll be attacking their camp from both sides. We can't have any of them escaping to report back. Strange crystal, Prismir. It's normally a shade of blue, but when you treat it and charge it with magic, it turns blood red. The eyes of Tirnock are two immense Prismir mirrors. Long as the Tuatha have them trained on you, they'll find you anywhere. The Destiny Stone showed us the tapestry of fate, but your power must have consumed it all. Everything except the wisdom at its core, the Codex of Destiny. The mine has a main entrance and an escape tunnel. The main one is heavily guarded, and the escape is heavily trapped. I saw them bringing Barghests down in cages, probably still being trained. Turn the beasts free, and I bet they cause some chaos for you. The Immortals inscribe their knowledge of fate into the living stone. I always thought it was a poetic way of talking about the theater, but there it is. In your hands. Keep it close, child. Whoever that Aelin Shear is, I don't think she's our enemy. If she wanted us dead, she could have killed us while we were weakened. But she's still trouble. Reminds me of a dark elf who left me half-naked and tied to a Barghest once. Now those were the days. Thanks for giving an old man another chance. It's good to know I've got a future again. And even better not to know what it is. Just go inside and find those scrying mirrors. Don't worry, I'll be coming along to help. Good luck. I'll see you inside. We're here. Not until you smash those mirrors. It'll keep them from tracking you all over Dalentarth. Good luck.
The undying mortal has grown tired of running, has she? Decided to fight back? Can you tell me the difference between a creature of nature and a child of dust like yourself? We children of nature know our roles. Meek and mighty, prey and predators, life and death, all serve the cycle. You children of dust do not know your place. You come into our land. You come to face your hunters. And you don't know when to die. You shall learn. In time, all mortals will know the might of Gadflow. Blessed herald of the merciful Tirnoch. All mortals end. Even if some are more persistent than others.
At least the Tuatha won't be able to track you so easily now. But it looks like you've got the personal attention of their king, Gadflow. If you were anyone else, I'd suggest you start running and not stop for a few years. But you might just have a chance. You're a mortal who survived death. You exist outside of fate. The Fae do not deal well with change, and you represent a threat to whatever has driven them to this war. But not all Fae are your enemies. I heard the High King wanted to meet you. Immortal or not, he's not someone you want to keep waiting. I might even see you there, if the old boy still remembers me. We should be able to get out this way.
Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh, why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. How extraordinary. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I face quite the predicament. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe they fear us, as they fear the elements. As they should. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? I am steward of the High King's List, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olanna will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. Well, I've never met him, of course. Such an honor is not granted to squires. But they say he is quite incredible, as tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. I enjoy my role as steward, but my fear of Lady Olanna overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now, there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tartarian, but they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands my concern. Thank you, mortal. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. Everywhere. Goronet is in the Hall of Appointments, but the others are all over the city. What a nightmare. Goodbye, Your Grace. I must not be disturbed. You are not meant to be here. Mortals have no place on the font. Many believe that the font supplies all of the western Feylands, the realm of the Summer Court, with their magic. Its flow touches all of us with its gifts. I patrol the gardens near the font during the daylight hours, but must return to reverie at twilight, as do all my kind. It is a powerful communion between the Fey and the magic that sustains us. We come together in the evening hours to connect and to feel as one. The court communes in the building behind you. They are not to be disturbed, for their wisdom can shift the stars and clear the clouds. You are not to go near. I am guardian of the Court of Summer and protector of the font. I watch over the most precious of the city's blossoms, including the rare bristle-tongue bloom. Its petals open once every few seasons, lifetimes for mortals such as you. But its seeds are potent and volatile. hence my vigil. Go back to the gardens.
No fighting in the city!
Yes, mortal for you. Please place the codex before him, and he will
I heard about Haxi. Impressive work. It's been a long time since I came here.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers. Treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you? The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. That is how I understand it now. You are intertwined with the power in Alabastra. There can be no doubt of that. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer, and the fate of this world. I thank you, and perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness. Admirable. But strength of will cannot see you through this alone. You may be unbound by fate, but you are not free from death. Speak with your allies. Only with their aid can you hope to overcome the forces that stand against you. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost. The summer and winter courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fey who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismir upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece, the edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original?
Who would have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape, Neuralim's looking for a savior, and Tatarian is looking for a champion, and somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed. You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army. A few years ago, one warrior could have slipped past unnoticed, but stealth is no longer an option, not even for me. But there is hope. In the plains of Erethel there waits a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Telera. Meet me in the village of Emer, and I will tell you everything. General Telera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan, but a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. Neuralim is the oldest living mortal. He remembers the time before even the Fae called these lands home. You should see how they cherish him. He rarely grants an audience to visitors. His tenders say he knows the future as well as the past. It makes him very particular about what he says. Be on your way.
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours. Old Fomorus Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around, and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. You're not the only one on the hunt for Hughes. Octien has followed his trail to the Hollowlands in Detir. You'll want to talk to him.
What is it?
Nice to see you.
You feel it, don't you? Anyone intimate with the ways of magic can detect the waning current. You're like me, your grace. You see the end. Is this how it happened at the House of Ballads? Did Hallam foresee this slow decay? I had a feeling he did. It is the source of summer court magic and touches our realm of origin, the land of Ashara. Without its constant flow, our kind would dry up like leaves and vanish. While wise and powerful, he's also brash and narrow. A sliver of light in a world so dark that most of us are blind. His inaction is no match for mortal ambition. It has been located here for many of your generations, what we call seasons. Only in recent times has it been shaped to resemble one of your mortal cities. The summer court resides on the highest terrace, far above the rest of us, as it should be. Every season, one is chosen to attend the font's magical flow, to act as ambassador. I'm the only Fae to have held the position more than once. I feel the strength of the currents. They wash through me. They rise up and overflow. However, their power weakens. Their cool waters recede. Most mortals know nothing of what lies beyond the veil. The magical realm of Ashara. It is a mystery even to us, as we departed its shores many seasons ago. As it is in every season, this family of Summer Fae has communed at the feet of its greatest leader, the High King Tatarian. The Western Faelands are our domain. Of the Gardens of Issa? Of the Summer Court? Why, this crystal war may be the end of all Fae. I know because I am Nomeron, master of the font, the wellspring of all Summer Court magic. I've seen it flow at its highest, but I've never seen it so dry.
Something must be done before all this city withers into nothingness. The font is the source of all Summer Court magic. It has flowed through this mountainside since our kind sprang up from the dirt. That flow has waned in recent days. It's unnatural, even as the magic in the world grows. The Fae, it seems, will wither. The font's flow is controlled from the Lyceum Grove down below. We must open the root system and allow more water through. However, the magic that regulates this flow can only be used by some. It's protected by a ward known as the Waterlock. It can only be opened by one who carries drops from each of the 5 sacred pools surrounding Issa. Collect these drops, and you can break the Waterlock. Collect water from each of the 5 sacred pools, and then go to the Lyceum Grove. This is where the roots can be opened to regulate the font's flow. Goodbye.
I am the great huntress Hartwin, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful? How quaint. Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Winry. So it is only right I meet the High King before her. Not only must I be in front of Warlord Winry, but I must also lead Lord Setter, the old lecher. Serves him right for all his past leering. The pleasure was all mine, child of the dust. Goodbye.
Greetings, Dustman. Are you finished? How strange.
I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballads serves no one. Order? I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the Warlord Winry? I enjoy watching her backside travel. It would be best if Garnet trails far behind Great Huntress Hartwin. Once at each other's throats, those two are difficult to tear apart. Always a pleasure. I am at your service, fleshy master.
I don't recognize you.
Mortals in Issa,
not to prove.
Mortals. So curious. They send the ruler of the House of Ballads to serve me? What form of unnatural mortal game is this? Why are you here? Me? Well, my seniority dictates that I should be leading this procession, but my lame leg prevents me from taking my rightful place. I should bring up the rear. I will make it to Tartarean's throne, even if I have to crawl. Are we through with this interrogation yet? Of course. Have you seen four fiends?
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gurturn Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. There's a brewery near Rathia that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Issa. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the All-Main approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. It's been in our family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. Good luck.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace? I am not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor. My place is prowling the Feylands in search of a worthy challenge. Not here, petitioning fools about issues that do not concern me. You fell persons are ignorant, aren't you? The Great Cycle is what gives balance between the eternal conflict of growth and decay. When every Fae passes, he is reborn. As long as the Great Cycle persists, this world we share may continue to refine itself on a path to perfection. We adore him in every guise, yet he has a wistfulness that I do not understand. There is no fire in him, only a peaceful pool that goes deeper than any of us realize. There is no more important nature than that which lusts for battle. Creation and destruction are sisters in the Great Cycle, both necessary to maintain the balance. I am the flame that blackens the dirt, the smoke that blocks the sun. My time in the Withering War was my finest hour, but those seasons are long past now. The Summer Court would not stand for the mortal ambitions of Own, King of the Winter Court. So we burned him, as we burn a dying forest in need of mercy.
Yes, Your Grace. So, you're done. A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails? It's good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents. Yes, yes. Of course. And then? All right. Next. Yes, yes. Excellent. That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you. Farewell, Honorable One.
Yes, mortal?
Ah, the mockingbird. Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the fontmaster and steward of tinctures and elixirs. Goodbye. Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the fontmaster and steward of tinctures and elixirs. Bristletongue, my, that would be something. A mockingbird with the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something.
Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion. Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. Do come see me again.
Hello.
I am at your service.
Please obey the edict.
Greetings, Dustling. You've done well, Child of the Dust. Those below will never know what is really happening. But in the end, is this a part of the many seasons or the sudden tempest? Does hiding the rot not spoil the harvest, no? Take this. You're brave. Perhaps we will meet again. Farewell.
What is it?
This is not your place.
Watch your back.
You've got the seeds! Now we'll see if the Victor's Brew can stand up to a new challenger. I'll have a batch of Asker's draft ready before the week is out. Take this, friend. And like I promised, the merchants here will give you a discount. You've got a home here in the alley for as long as you like. Thanks for the business.
Goods and conversation here. Hey there, pretty. This is Asker's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern in Issa, of course, but you didn't know that, did you? If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything. About the Understyle, the Embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all. Bye now. Need some chatter? I've got plenty to go around, pretty.
Bye now. Need some chatter? I've got plenty to go around. And pretty. Bye now. This one's for my brother. Gaunt.
If you fancy a game of Hexes...
Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve. Not much to speak of, just another soul wandering the plains trying to get by. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an Alfar that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Aiton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item, and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand? I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later. You will? I did not think that I would be as lucky as that. These are my personal effects. You should be able to sell them around town for more than what I charged you. Thank you for your coin, stranger. I will use it to buy passage to Melsenshire, to the war front. Now, I must go.
Welcome to Aiton.
Welcome to the Clanging Hammer. Don't see many new faces in Aiton these days. My forge is open. It's quiet here. Farmland mainly. But between Ron Farm and the Freemen, we've got our own worries. They have been lingering around the wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those Freemen like to sneak up on wanderers. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Aiton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. This is Ratifer's, isn't it? I recognize the work.
My father did it. They're pretty tarnished, and I don't really have the time to work them now. But I'll take them off your hands. Here you go. Forge is yours, whenever you need.
Strangers strange come to Ayton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Ayton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Ayton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and Flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders. Hoping to hear a song for coin from old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratifer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. I see you have a ring, tarnished green and old as Nell has grown. Bought it off old Ratty, did you? The poor drunk dear. I have the coin you seek, from a dowry never taken, for a bride never wed. A circle of the windstones nearby. When the voices from its stones sing a certain melody, the Erethel will come and end our tribulations. Each stone is a voice in the song. When all have sung in their part, the Erethel will appear. But if not, dark things for these dark times will show instead. The stones. I am unworthy. I do not think they will sing to me. You must go. It must be you. Make the stones sing their song. You will? Ayton Circle is to the south of town. Each stone carries a note of the song. In the right order, they form the song as it was to be sung. But they will not suffer a cacophony. If the songs you play will not call the Erethel, it will call darker things for these dark times. Everyone knows the song. It starts on the highest note and descends down the scale. Wait a moment. Perhaps it was start at the lowest note and descend up. Well, something like that anyway. Flutter away.
Can I help you?
Stranger to Ayton, I'm the law in this town. Keep the peace and you are welcome to stay. If not, then you had best leave. If you need to trade, visit Banron, our smithy, and Askel deals in alchemy. And there's a general dealer staying at the inn. I'll take a look at what you've got. They're certainly weathered, but there's something about these daggers. I'll part with a few coins for them. Here you are. Town's becoming harder to protect. We get weaker every season, and the freemen know it. I do what I can, but we keep losing ground. Rond Farm burned not long ago. but it's too dangerous to investigate. I am the law of the town. Aiton needed protection, and I didn't see anyone else willing to do the job. I took it upon myself to keep Aiton safe. Someone needed to do it. Used to be peaceful farmland before the war was on. Now it's some scratched-up dirt, home to Aiton and those murderous freemen. Keep the peace.
Good day, traveler.
You should speak with Askell if you're here to shop. He won't even let me keep the books anymore after my last mistake. I want to help him, but he won't let me near his ledgers. Well, if you can undo my mistake, perhaps Askell will let me help him again. I sent out several invoices the other day, but I made a slight arithmetic error that might cost us dearly. None of the customers seem to have noticed yet. Can you recollect those invoices discreetly? Oh, thank you. There's 5 invoices in total. 4 went to the townsfolk. The last was to go to the Warsworn Fortress, Helmgard, with a traveling merchant. When you have them all, bring them back to me. Oh, and don't mention this to Askell. 4 of them were given out to the townsfolk. The last was to be sent to Helmgard Keep, the Warsworn base, so I gave it to a merchant traveling that way. Nice talking to you.
For a minute I thought the damn freeman had fancied to rob me. Welcome. I offer some alchemical items if you are interested. I am an alchemist, not a dealer in petty baubles and refuse. Wait a moment. That kerchief. It's woven of Canarok gossamer. Perfect for a solvent cloth. I spoke too soon. Here is coin for the object. I shall buy it at once. Very well. If you're heading east to the ruins of Talarain, or heading to the warfront, I suggest you stock up here. Very well.
can I help you?
Welcome.
Just give me a straight answer. Is the General still in the cradle of summer?
She is... for it.